In, you are seeing the Artistry Collective's Colors of Christmas live event today. And I am super excited. We're going to make a little folio flip. Got to pull these other ones. I wasn't sure what I was going to do today, but I decided to go with traditional Christmas colors. So I got to pull off all these pink ones I've been working with. I hope everyone is well. If you are seeing this red live button, we are live. If not, you're on the replay. That's great too. Just type in a hashtag replay or some kind of a comment and let me know that you stopped by. Okay. I think we are all good. Let's turn on some fun little Christmas lights, because why not? Ooh, maybe not blinking like that. There we go. Hello, Becca. Hello, hello. All right, so I'm super excited today. We're going to be working on a little folio using the Highland Winter digital kit from Rach and Bella Crafts. Full disclosure, I am on Rach and Bella Crafts design team, and I love it. Rachel always has such beautiful designs. Hello there, welcome. Midnight Fox is in the house. Chris Tompkins is here. Okay, so I've gathered some things to get us started. I've printed just a few pages of the digital kit because I didn't know how far we'd get. Of course, anytime I'm making a folio, I always like to have a good stack of envelopes. And this one I knew was going to be a little bit smaller, so I grabbed some of my smaller envelopes. I'll show you the sizes that I have here. Now, where to get envelopes? Well, there's lots of places you can get them. First of all, ask your friends and family, especially if they had a graduation or a wedding or anything that you would typically send out stationery for. They probably have leftovers. So ask around. You'll be surprised what you will find. You can also get them at office supply stores. That's where most of my little coin envelopes come from. But truly, to be honest, I have acquired some at thrift stores as well in boxes that are from those local office supply stores. So they come in all kinds of sizes. These are just your traditional coin envelopes is what they're called. And I think I have them in 2 different sizes here. Nope, looks like maybe 3 sizes here. That one's a little bigger. So I love the little envelopes. The little envelopes are really good for putting in little flips and flaps and all kinds of things. Daiso, I just did a video on our local Daiso store that just opened up. So that's like a Japanese dollar store, dollar-ish store. So they have lots of little envelopes. If you get things in the mail, like maybe somebody sent you flowers, or maybe a little gift card, or somebody sent you a little note, save those envelopes. You can use them. I love them of all different sizes, like I said. Junk mail is another good place to get envelopes. It doesn't have to be anything expensive or fancy. You can just use what you have. And regular envelopes work too. I just have a plethora of these coin envelopes, and I love using them because they're wonderful to add tags to and do all kinds of fun things. All right, so the next thing I have, most of you probably have at home, just a file folder, and I cut it in half. So this was your standard file folder that kind of went out about yay big. And then I cut it in half this way. And then I folded it kind of in 4 equal quarters here, just like so. And some of yours might have tabs here. You can round those corners if you want to, or you can just kind of keep them however they are. So many different ways to make folios. I don't think I ever make one the same the next time. Sometimes even when I'm trying to make them the same, they don't turn out the same. Oscar, buddy, I am working. You need to go find your mama. Yeah, I guess he's saying hi to everyone. He hasn't been featured on the channel in a while, and apparently he is feeling it. Meow. So if you're a cat lover, Oscar's in the house. He's the blue kitty that's on my channel here. Okay, so then you need also some papers. You can use wrapping paper. You can use leftover packaging bags. Maybe you have some gift bags. You can use junk mail. You can use scrapbook paper. You can use beautiful digital printables. And this one is the Highland Winter kit from Rach and Bella Crafts. I absolutely love, love, love this pattern here. Another place to get envelopes is from your printables. A lot of times they'll give you a pattern. You can use an envelope punch board, and you can also use templates you might find on Google to print. I love this one. Look at this. It's just those little hints of green. So we're talking about the colors of Christmas today. Do you guys like traditional Christmas colors like the red, white, and green? Or maybe you like blue and silver? I just did a little mini book with a different digital designer's kit that was all in pink, and it was wonderful. And it was a tasteful pink. It wasn't like Barbie pink. not that Barbie pink isn't tasteful, but I mean, it was really it was like soft and just wonderful to look at. Okay, so I don't have a lot of papers, but we're going to get started. You like red and silver. Ooh, that sounds nice. I know some people, I've seen some really pretty Christmas trees done in purples. Hey, there's Christy from Christy's Crafty Cottage. So if you aren't familiar with our live Wednesdays, this is a group called the Artistry Collective. This group was created by Christy from Christy's Crafty Cottage, who just popped up here in the comments. So a huge thank you to her for continuing to allow me to be part of this wonderful group of ladies. There's Leah with Make All Things With Me. So up after me will be Leah with Make All Things With Me. And then after her will be Christy from Christy's Crafty Cottage. And we are just 3 ladies that get together every Wednesday, and we come up with a theme usually. So a lot of times it's been crafter's choice. And we all have, different talents in different areas. And it's so much fun to see us all kind of come together and just get along so well and produce this collaboration for you. So if you wouldn't mind hitting that like and subscribe and all of the things for us when you visit our lives, that helps us so much and is so encouraging. Okay, so the next thing you kind of need to do, I like to kind of lay mine out just a little bit just so I can get an idea of what's happening here. But you don't have to do it this way. You can kind of add them as you go. Now this bigger one, this bigger coin envelope, I wanted to put on the cover. Look how fun this would be. So any of these little flaps that you have from your envelopes, they can glue down to your surface, and then look how easy it is that they make a fun hinged flip up here. Now you might be wondering, okay, but this has a pocket. You can still use the pocket like this. They could slip things in here this way, or you can glue it closed, put some things over it. You can put the pocket on the side. Just make a little slice either side, and you could also put it down here. Just because it says that it has to open here, they're not the boss of you. Doesn't mean you have to leave it there. And also, if it's too long like this, we can easily trim it off. So don't worry. So that one I think is going to go there. I'm trying to decide. I really love this this window scene, and I think it would be fun to have the window on the envelope right there, and then the window will flip up and maybe we'll see this beautiful background. So that's kind of the plan. That's where we're headed, and we're going to need to trim this off first. So I like to just crease it here, and then I'll probably close this pocket up. You don't even have to have it be a pocket. It can just simply be a flip flap. So don't feel like just because it's an envelope, it has to hold something. Its job might just be to look cool and hold your stuff there and be interactive. I love the interactive pieces, the parts that move and do all the things. Okay, so I know that's where I want that to go. I'm going to go ahead and glue this tab down. Now, sometimes you don't have to glue these tabs down right away. You can kind of just set it up and see how you're going. Hi, Jana. To see if, it's going to work out for you. But I do know that was kind of my inspiration for this little folio. So that was where I wanted it to go. Now, what's the difference between a folio and a junk journal? Not much. Folios are typically, I say typically, smaller, but remember, there's no rules in junk journaling. So, you might have what they call more of a lap book, where you use the whole file folder and you keep it big, and it has all kinds of interactive flips and flaps. You might have a smaller one like this. Maybe it's going to go inside of another journal, or maybe it's just going to be standalone by itself. But typically it's you know, it's made something smaller like this, and it just has a lot of turn the pages. You can make them into whatever you'd like. If you want to make them like a little writing journal and put in a little journal inside, you absolutely can. But for me, it's more about the flips and flaps. Okay, and see right here, we could add another little one right here if we wanted to put, see, anywhere you have the little flip here, the little flap, whatever, you can put it right there. And see how perfect that looks? So this would flip open like this, and then this would flip open like this. I'm not sure I want to add that one right there though, because I really love this window scene from right here. And I'm thinking that is just going to glue right there on the front. Like, come on in, come inside. It just looks very inviting. You know, it's yucky outside, but come on in to where it's nice and cozy. So good job, Rachel, for creating such a wonderful collection. I love it. Now, my colors might be off a little bit for two reasons. I print usually on an off-white. This is a 65-pound cardstock. I'm not sure what that is in GSM. I'm sorry. But I do print on off-white. I love printing on off-white for more vintage looking things or anything that I want to have more of a softer look, kind of the shabby chic kind of a look, like where it's got this lace pattern and things in here. Also, I was starting to run out of ink, so it was after it printed, it said you need to replace your ink, which it's here. I just need to do it. So there's that. So, and also the type of paper that you print on will also change. You can kind of change the look of things. This one's printed on cardstock and it's printed on off-white. This one is printed on bright white and it's just on regular printer paper. I don't know if printer paper is different in different parts of the world, but it's just a paper. It's thin. It's not thick like cardstock. I'm sure it has a weight on there. I should probably check that out. But you can kind of see how bright green this one is and how this is still a bright green, but it's definitely a different type of, a different shade of the color. And that's because it's got the tint from my paper. Now I've also heard if you print on like some photo printer paper, you will get some really great colors and prints as well. Hey, thank you for pouring the coffee. I love that. That just means that you are sharing the video out there, telling everybody, hey, we're over here on YouTube. We do try to be here every Wednesday on YouTube. Sometimes our crazy busy lives get in the way. We are three ladies that are, you know, just crazy busy as others are. So we try to support each other in whatever direction that may be. But typically we are here on Wednesdays at this time. I usually start us off and then it goes to Leah and then to Christy. Okay, so now what we do is we just keep going along and we figure out where we want more flips. And you don't always necessarily have to do this right at the beginning. I like to try because then it's easier to hide your constructive pieces as you go along. Now, what do I mean by constructive pieces? Is the little flaps and things. As you're going to layer your cardstock or your other printed papers down, it will hide some of this construction. If you don't care about hiding the construction, then don't worry about it. You do love the colors on that cream colored paper. Isn't it nice? I feel like it's just nice on the eyes, and it just gives it a softer look. So even if you're not somebody who cares about vintage looking things, I really just like the way it feels on my eyes. Now, I am visually impaired, so that might just be me as well, but it's not as bright, and it just keeps it a little lighter, a little softer. Not quite a pastel, but definitely if you are someone who's into the shabby chic or vintage, it helps there a lot. So, okay, so I'm just going to cut this envelope out, and we'll see if it's going to fit and how it's going to do. I think this might have printed a little better had my ink been replaced, but we're going to go with it for now. Both the cream and the white. Yeah, Rachel always does really beautiful designs. This is her most recent kit. I'm on her design team, so I'm working with it, but I believe that it is available on her Etsy and her coffee shop. And the coffee is KOFI. I will try to put links in the description once the live is all over. Let's see, there we go. Okay, see now this one goes this way. So these little red areas are the fold lines. And if you're not a straight kind of folder, you can use, if you have any kind of a grid back here, you can line up your ruler with the line here. Don't tear it. If you're used to tearing with your ruler, don't tear it. Line up your ruler with the grid lines here. And then make your folds this way. You can also use a scoreboard, or you can just freehand. It's handmade. It's a junk journal, even though it's a folio. Don't get too tripped up on the names of things. You kind of need to know what they are if you are creating, because, you know, if you're looking for other ideas or whatever, you need to know what to search for. But honestly, this is still made from junk. This was a half of a file folder, so the other half probably got used for crafts, but it might have ripped or whatever, and could have then found itself into the bin. Hi, Robin. So, you know, we're saving that from the recycle pile. If you use any of your junk mail or whatever, even if you're using beautiful printables or even scrapbook paper, it can still be considered a beautiful handcrafted journal. I mean, you don't have to worry about, is it really a junk journal? Is it really a whatever? Doesn't matter, guys. Doesn't matter. Okay, so now this, we could glue our pieces together like a pocket here. And this can add a page. And the way it can do that is we could glue this little flap right here. And it can just add... I'm not going to do it on this one because my design is going the wrong way, and that will really bother me. Oops, see, and I didn't fold that straight either. Even though I still used my ruler, I did not get it straight. Another blessing of being visually impaired. Sometimes I mess it up, and that's okay. That is okay. That is especially what I love about this craft, is that nothing has to be perfect. You can have another go at it, or you can, you know, just embrace its wonkiness, and that's okay too. Let's see. Let's try to get it a little more straight though, since it's going to be maybe a flip or a flap or something like that. Okay, there we go. And then these edges here where I missed, or where they're colored, if you don't like that, hit it with some ink, and that's right. It's just paper and love. I love that, Robin. You can put some ink on there. You can put some glittery trim on there, whatever you want to put on there. Okay, so the way that this would make another page, like say maybe you're like, wow, this is really cool. I like this, but it doesn't have enough pages for what I want to do. You can add this even over here where it comes together like this as an accordion. We could add a fun little page in there. So we can just simply glue this flap. And look how pretty that would be. You could even glue it kind of here and have a little tuck right there. That would be pretty. And then when you get to in here, you don't glue this part, because then it'll just be a little flip open page. And since it's an envelope, it would have a pocket. Or you could make it have a little flip out like this. Envelopes just give you so many possibilities, and I absolutely love it. Okay, what is going on here? Did I really mess up this fold that bad? I've been having a really crummy couple of eye days this week. So my apologies in advance. Haven't been doing any serious fussy cutting just for that reason, because the eyes are just angry. Okay. So there's that envelope. You can definitely use a printed envelope. Now, one thing about having digital printables is that you can change the size when you print them. So you can print it at 25% or 50%. That would make it smaller. You could print it at 125% to make it bigger. Just remember your paper size. If you're trying to go too ginormous, you might need a bigger size of paper. But you can definitely size these down and make them smaller, and I think that is super fun. See, even if we wanted to use this image here and put another window, that would fit right there. Since our front image, which is what I think I'm going to use this for, our front image is going to be that window out here. Okay, so we know we're going to need one of these going upright somewhere in here. And you can put a flip on a flip. So this is a flip. We can, like I showed you, we can put this one on here as well if we really wanted to do that. But inside the journal as well, you can keep putting flips and more flips and more flips and more flips. It's really addictive. So if you haven't tried this yet and you're going to, be warned, it can be really fun and really addictive. Okay, this one, I think I want this one to go this way. So we're just gonna put a little crease here. And I think these types of books are so fun to receive in the mail. I received a Happy Mail one time. Somebody had done a whole bunch of fussy cutting and put them in one of these little books for me. And I was almost in tears because for me, that is like hours and hours and hours of frustration on my eyes. So it was just so wonderful to get that from her. And she also sent me a bunch of die cuts that were tiny that she had pieced all together so I wouldn't have to strain my eyes piecing them together. So bless her. Thank you again, Rebecca. Hightower is her name. I haven't seen her for a while. I should check on her. Okay, so I do like this one here. So when we open this is going to lift up. Yeah. Then we can open it. We can have something here. This one's going to flip out. We can also make these. This one here can go over this one at the top so that it kind of holds this down if we want it to. Now I want to put one of these with that window, and I'm going to have a window here. So I think what I might want to do is maybe put that window at the back. But you have to decide if you really want to have a flap like this on the back side, because sometimes it can kind of get hung up on things. But I think that would be a good size, and we could still put a closure that would keep it together, and that would put a window at the back, like maybe a window looking in or looking out and one looking in. I don't know. Anybody following me? What do you guys think? Just paper and love. Yes, we need that on a shirt. We absolutely do. Just paper and love. That's right. And I get so many people that are like, oh man, I messed up, and they go to chuck it. No, paper layers, paper layers. You can peel the layer off. You can add a layer over it. You can put a fun embellishment. No worries. No worries, friend. No worries. Just craft. Just love that paper and put the love into your project, and it will come through. I promise. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue this flap here. Now see how I've kind of looked at my paper and thought, yes, I want these windows here, but really that's it. I haven't really started placing my paper. I'm not that much of a planner, guys. I'm kind of let the project lead me where it's gonna go. But you don't have to be. You can completely cover your background, the file folder in this case, with your paper first and decide how it's gonna work. If that's how you work best, do that. Otherwise, I try to build the base of it first. And it doesn't mean I can't add more flips and flaps later, but it saves me from having to do extra covering. And that I just mean, like, if I were to put, base paper back here and then I put this flap over it, I either like this flap there or I got to put something over it. So it just saves you if you do all of this base work at once. Okay, that one I think might go on the back like that. We'll see. And these ones are just some smaller regular envelopes. This was from Daiso. And it has some cute little note paper in there too. So you can put a fun little note in there. Now look at this. This is a score. It came with part of the packaging separating my envelopes. So the things go in here like this. But how fun is this little piece of scrap that would normally go in the bin? We could put in some little tags right there that could just hold that. Or we could use it and put our envelopes in here like that. So that would be kind of fun. I might use that in a book where I've got some tags going or some other ephemera that I want to layer. And if you don't have something like this, you could just easily make this yourself. Just make 3 little tabs in there that are separated like that. Super fun. Okay, so I wanted to put one of these envelopes in here too. Now, these envelopes are so much fun too because these can be little flips and flaps as well. So like this one, we could put up here. So it then you would open this and then open this, which is kind of nice because then it kind of weighs this down a little bit. Or you can put them on the sides like this. I think that is really pretty. But again, I want that main window to be the focus here. So I'm not going to put it there. Now, we already have one here that's going to be going this way. So we want to be careful about putting, you know, one over here because now we've got this weird flap that's going to get in the way of this one. So just kind of watch that. If we put this one down first, then it would work, but we didn't. So that's the way it rolls. But we still could put this one here, and I kind of like that. I don't have many at the tops or the bottoms, but you can always, of course, put them this way, and then this can just flip down and you can have a fun little pocket. So these are great for little ephemera holders. Maybe you've got a digital kit or even just a scrapbooking kit, or maybe you're trying to save some ephemera for a certain theme and you want to put all of the little themes in here, like all the little pieces for the themes in something like this, and you can then you know, save it like this in a drawer and just add to it as you find things. You might put stickers in one, or maybe you've got some tickets or some fun pieces of ephemera or whatever it is. So that is always an option as well. So I kind of like the idea that this might flip down, but I typically do things on the sides, and I like those quite well. So let's just go with the side for this envelope. Now, with these envelopes too, before I glue it down, you can also glue these down like this, and then you can have a little pocket back here just by gluing the 3 sides, and then you still have a little pocket for your envelope. So you don't necessarily have to use them as flips, but when you're making folios, it is so much fun to make all of these fun little flips and flaps and interactive. Most of them are little compartments, but they don't have to be. They can just be a flip and a flap. Okay, so a lot of times when I do this, I put my glue on and then I lay it where I want to have it there. And then when I'm happy, I just press it down. Top and bottom with the closure. Absolutely. With the policy closure, you could totally do that. Or with some Velcro even, they can overlap. Sometimes I'll use tags and make the tags be a flip or a flap. Yeah, just let your creativity completely take over and you can do all of the things. I had some leftover paper that I was going to put in here. Okay, so we've got, I don't have anything on this one. Now, if you get to a page and you're like, okay, I really want to put one here, but I don't want the flap to show on this side. You can just glue it like this. So you would glue this base piece, and maybe you even want to glue this base piece as a pocket. So then you'd have a pocket back here, and then this can open up as a little flip flap. Tags are a cute idea, absolutely. Okay, so we haven't used very many Christmas colors yet, but it's coming. It's coming. I remember the theme, I promise. Okay, this one we could glue back here, so then it just kind of flips up a little bit like this. And if we glued this side later, it could even be a little belly band just to hold something there. Or it could just be a little sentiment here. We do have to kind of choose. So I think I might add these paper ones on later. So let's go ahead and start covering what we've got. And we'll see how it starts to take place, take shape, take whatever. How it starts to come about. Okay. Now this one, I'm going to mark. Actually, maybe I'll just use my tearing ruler. Oh boy. Oh boy. I wouldn't be disappointed if that was the edge. So let's see how much we'll lose if the whole thing is not going to fit on here. So when you have these edges like this and they're printed patterns, you can just decide where you want to have your image be featured. I do also love this owl. That could definitely be one of our flaps too. Now, I've been learning the secret of these tearing rulers is to hold tight and have room. And I usually don't do either very well. Okay, so here's what I meant by you can kind of decide. where the edge you want to be. It's going to go over here, so it's going to be at the edge of this window. I think what I might do is just tear this out at the edge because it's going to be a little bit bigger, and I can decide how much of this edge I want to come off of there. Now I'm not getting this other teacup or this vase, but that's all right. I'm okay with that. So now, see, and up here there's a little extra room too. If I want to have this bird and this stack, I can move them down just a little bit too. So I kind of do like the little teacups. It's kind of like, you know, hey, we're inside. Come inside. Let's do something nice and warm. I think I'm going to take a little bit more off this side over here. I do still want to be able to tell that it's a window. You're watching from Sydney, Australia. Well, hello and welcome. So glad you're here. We have another friend in Australia that's with us as well. So hello over there. I don't know what time of day it is over there, but thank you so much for being here. I know it's in the afternoon here in Western Washington in the United States. I think it is so great that we can all get together, everyone from around the States, around the world. It is so much fun, and I love that. The ladies from the collective here, I'm in Washington State on the West Coast, and Christy and Leah are both on the East Coast. One's in New York and one's in Maryland. So it's fun that it brings us together as well as creators and friends, and I think it's amazing. Okay. 11:30 a.m. on Thursday. See, we're at 4:30 in the afternoon on Wednesday. So that's always kind of the joke that I say with Chris, who hangs out here with us as well. I always say hello tomorrow because she's in tomorrow. Tell us something good about yesterday. We need all the help we can get. Here it is raining, which is the common thing about Washington State. It rains a lot, but it's raining a whole awful lot, and areas near me are flooding. So we are hoping for a little let up of the rain. That would be nice. But the temperature really isn't too bad here for December. It's in the 40s, so that's not awful. It could be colder, that's for sure. There's no snow, just lots of rain where I'm at. All right, so we need to kind of mark this. This is the, the covering can be seen as the not fun part or the really fun part. It just depends on how you look at it. The fun part, because that's when it's very hot. Oh, that's right, because you're in summer over there, I think. It's fun because this is when your project really starts to take shape. You can start seeing your beautiful patterns on there. But boring because you have to do a lot of this kind of tedious covering. Eek, see it and I let go. Don't let go. There we go. Okay. All right, now hopefully this will fit on here very nicely. And I'm still not getting as much of that bird as I really wanted to get. I kind of wanted to get those teacups, but I don't think it's going to happen. I could always flip them around like this, but... okay. At least we're going to have the window and the bird. We just are going to have to be happy with that. And we can have the other pieces of it somewhere else. And I like a torn edge, so mine does not line up perfectly. Don't worry about perfection. Just learn, work on having fun. Wow, so I think for us in Fahrenheit, your weather is about, what, 90-ish? That's a nice summer weather. That's pool weather. I love to swim. I love the water. I don't so much like the flood water, but, Okay, so one thing we can also do before we glue this on, we can do any of our stamping or inking. I won't make you watch me ink this whole project because that's not really the most fun part, but And you can always add it later, but I just do want to show you the difference that it makes when you just add a little bit of ink. This one is frayed burlap. It's my favoriteest color right now. We should be using Christmas green. Ooh, and you know what? I do have a beautiful one. Let's see. Evergreen bough would work, or I think it's pine something. Bundled sage would look nice. Let's bring out the green in this. Yes, pine needles. Let's do it. Let's bring out the green. I'm not going to leave my frayed burlap too far behind, though, because it is my favorite. Okay. Grab another anchor, and let's go. So we'll just add some of this, and it's okay. I've already got that frayed burlap on there. We're going to bring out those Christmas colors since this is the Colors of Christmas event. And this is Distress Oxide ink by Ranger. Tim Holtz colors. Now you can choose to ink before or after you glue all of your pieces in. Sometimes I like to just kind of put a little bit down before I get all the paper down, just because sometimes the areas might be harder to reach once you've got them covered. Like in here, this is going to be a little stiffer and a little harder to reach as far as that goes. Okay. And you can see with the folio like this, it doesn't take very long. These are really great projects too, because you can make something fairly quickly with what you have at home, probably. I'm sure most of you have some sort of a stash of envelopes, even if it's from like maybe somebody sent you a birthday card, or, you know, if you still get paper billing, if you open those up, there's all kinds of like return envelopes in there from that would just normally be thrown in the bin. So you can use those as well. And like I said, if they're not the right size, trim them down to whatever size you want them to be. And then you can have all the flips and flaps your heart can come up with. And that is the fun part of a folio. You can even use, you know, if you have die cuts or punches, you can cut out windows. So much fun. In fact, we'll do that on this one. We will use a circle punch and cut out a hole to view one of these fun little Highland cows that I've got up here. Okay, that's about all we're going to do of that for right now. We'll just get this paper glued on here. Let's punch a hole before I forget. I said we were going to do that. So we're just going to make a little window. And I haven't glued this closed yet, so we could put it, it could come in from over here. Let's do that. Okay, and now we can make a cute little peekaboo right through there. You can do that with any size punch or die cut as well. Of course, if you're die cutting, you're going to have to do that before you glue it in. So those are the kinds of things you got to think about as you're creating. And if you miss it, this first one that you make or whatever, you can always make another one because they're so much fun. All right, let's go ahead and glue this down, and then I will trim this off. Fun idea, right? Yes. And you know, what do you do with this? I get asked that all the time. What do you do with the stuff that you make? Well, these little folios are great for sending happy mail. They're great for sending at Christmas time. Maybe you have some beautiful Christmas photos of grandbabies or your own children or somebody else's children, maybe nieces and nephews. Or maybe you just want to feature your cat. Maybe you took your cat to see Santa, because there's all kinds of places here that let you do that. And you want to send those to someone for Christmas. You absolutely can do that. I hope that still looks like a window. I just took that top piece off of there. I think I should have scooted that bird down just a little bit more, but I think it still looks like a window, and we're going to go with it. Okay, and then this one, I want to use this this other piece right here. We can put this one right there. But I really love this flower and the lace, so maybe I will line it up there. Let's take our, let's take just a second and fold it, because that's where I will want to be the edge. And of course, you can use a trimmer if you are somebody who likes your folds and creases and cuts all straight. If you are better at scissors than I am, go for it. You do you. Absolutely, every single time. And look, when we glue this on, we could leave this piece and have another flap this way if we really wanted to. It looks like a window for sure. Okay, good. I was kind of excited about that window piece. That was like my whole like, ooh, I need to do that one. Also, if you want to put like a ribbon closure, now would be a good time. You could put it underneath this paper if you really wanted to, or you could hide it still on the back, or you can just simply tie a ribbon around it. Be good to go. Usually that's what I wind up doing for my closures because unless if I really plan ahead for a closure, I typically forget them. And it's funny because my one friend says that's like her most favorite part of making a book or a project like this is the closure. And I'm like, oh, that for me is always like I forget. So it's funny how different parts of the project will speak to different creators. Now, if you get to a piece like this and you're like, okay, well, how do I make it, you know, it's got like a weird shape or whatever. Here we go. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to put some glue on this part, and then we'll put our paper and we'll trim around. Now, if you have excess pieces where I tore it, you could put down some book page. Book page always looks great on a torn edge. You could also stamp on here if you don't like it, or you can cut it perfectly. If that's what you do, then you do however you like it. See, I have like a little spot right there, and I think I will maybe add a little stamp right there that just has a little scripty font. A little snow on the ground in New York. Oh, brr. We don't have snow here yet, and I am relieved because I like to go visit the snow, but I don't like the snow to visit me a whole lot. In Washington, at least in this side of the state, on the western side, we don't typically get a lot of it, so we just don't have the road services. I know I've heard lots of jokes over the years. Oh, those idiots on the West Coast don't know what they're doing. You know what? We don't, because we don't have the services very much. Like when we were on the East Coast driving during the winter time, there's like little sand huts everywhere and salt huts and all the things. We don't have that, and we can't salt our streets here because of the salmon. Pretty much everything we do here is to maintain the harmony of the salmon. So there's reasons we are not great at driving in the snow. Okay, I dropped the piece I needed next, of course. All right, so look how fun that looks right there, just with that in the background. Now, there we go. So what do you do with this part? Well, you could write a fun little sentiment. You could put a photo. I love that it's this little flower. I love that. I'm gonna darken those edges with some frayed burlap just because I do like a little more vintage of a look, but you don't have to. Don't have to use any ink at all if you don't want to. The images are beautiful just on their own. Okay, let's put some more up here. Maybe it'll make it look a little more like that windowsill up there. And we can ink the edge of this paper as well. All right, so now let's work on this piece right here because I want to see that peekaboo part. And if I really wanted to be specific, I could go in and print this a little smaller, and then it would fit right there. But look how cute that little snoot is right there. Oh my goodness. Yes, we are cow lovers here. It's no secret. But you could easily put in this little image here, a little peekaboo owl there, or a bunny. I think the bunny would fit. And then there's also a page that has, I think it's a reindeer. Okay, so let's take a look at the reindeer, or we could even put this beautiful white owl in there. Or you could feature a flower, or you could even feature a photo. Whatever it is that you want to feature. I just want to see what this, will that fit? Not really. You know, you could feature one of these beautiful flowers if you don't have anything else fun that you would like to feature. And this is a pocket, so we could put a piece of acetate in there if we wanted to keep it a pocket. You could put something back here that you want to be peekaboo, and you know, if you pull this tag out or flip it open, or you can just glue it closed and leave it just the window. It doesn't have to have something in there. You could put a piece of lace in there, which I oftentimes really like to do. Let's see, what does our little reindeer look like here? It's probably going to cut off his antlers. Yeah, I don't like him in there. There's some cute little birds you could put in there. There's a little fox right there. Ooh, or we could have a little mountain scene. That would be kind of fun. I kind of like the mountain scene. What do you guys think? We could glue this paper down with the little mountain scene right there. That could be pretty. So let's go ahead and fold this here, and then I'll know where to trim it out here. Lace would be really cute in there. Yes, we can still put a piece of lace in there, and we can even glue it closed with lace in there so that it doesn't have to be a tag spot. Or you could put a tag in there made out of lace or something like that. The sky's the limits, you guys. Oh. Okay, how did I do? I kind of like that. All right, let's cut this down just a little better. Now you see, the more planning that you do ahead of time, it enables you to do all kinds of cool things. But you don't have to be a planner. I am typically not a planner. I just kind of let the project take me where it's going to go. And I just hold on for the ride, because that's what crafting is for me. It's supposed to be a fun journey. And that's kind of how I think of it. Now down here, we're going to get this poor reindeer. His head's going to be cut off. And I don't think I'm going to like the look of that. So we can put another piece of paper down there, or a piece of trim or something. We just don't want it to interfere with the flip or the flap or any of that. Okay, so I usually crease these really good and then pull. And one other thing I guess I should mention is, since I'm creating with the file folders, sometimes file folders are not straight. So if you are someone that has to have your projects straight, you might not want to start with your base as a file folder, because it will be sometimes a little wonky no matter how much you trim it and try to get it right. You can also just start with envelopes and just start building. Okay, let's see, does that fit this way? I need to take just a little smidgen off of the side. So, I usually kind of little smidgen myself to death and then add ink. So once I get done fiddling and fidgeting and trying to get it great, I will go in and just add ink. Okay, so let's see. That fits pretty good now. Our flap still works. And we should be good. So let's go ahead and put some frayed burlap ink around here. Ah! I just got ink everywhere. Oh, no, I didn't. That's an owl. Okay, see? I'm having really bad eye days. I thought I got smeared some ink on there, but it's just an owl. However, again, the most wonderful thing about crafting with printables is if I had messed it up, I could easily just go print another one. No worries. A piece of vellum in here might work too. You could put some sort of a sentiment on there. And as we're gluing this paper down, this is cardstock, so we could easily make a notch there. In fact, let's do it. We'll make a notch at the top, and it can also make another little pocket. So then you get the most out of all of these little pages. And since there's nothing up there that I will miss if I don't have that little notch piece right there, now we can just glue it in as a pocket. And to do that, I like to hold where I just notched because I don't want to glue up there. And we're going to go ahead and just glue down the rest of those 3 sides, the 2 sides and the bottom. And then we'll glue this on. And I'm going to try to get it as straight as I can with the top. And then if I have some overhang at the bottom, I can always trim that off. I'll really press that glue in so it stays there. And then over here, I'm going to use a little shimmer stick. This sheer shimmer stick, and it's the dauber top. And I'm just going to put some shimmer on this mountain. So that way, as we kind of see the mountain, it will glisten like it has snow. And since that's what we are featuring in our little window, it'll be nice that it sparkles a little bit. Okay, and to cover this part, what we can easily do is put this here. We can punch out a hole with our hole punch and just lay it over it. Like this. Just make sure you give yourself enough room to get that in there. We'll save this piece. That might be fun as a little decoration somewhere else. Then we can line this up here, and it will just perfectly go right around there. And you can open this up and trace if you don't think you can measure it good, or you can even just glue it on right now and trim around. But I'm just going to go ahead and trace, and then we'll cut. Okay, and let's make sure that is going to be long enough where I've got it. So that would just glue like right there. And we'll fold this one to the edge here. Really crease it. And that one I will just tear. But these 2 pieces, I could use my tearing ruler or my trimmer or my scissors, whatever it is that you are most comfortable with. And then I'm going to save these pieces because I've got the other side that I need to cover. And we need to decide if we want this to be a pocket or if we just want to glue it closed. And I think I might just glue it closed with some lace inside of there. And I think that might be, once we do that, might be about as far as we get on this little project. But you can see, really, it just kind of comes down to going forth and covering all of the sides that you've created. Okay, I'm going to line this up, and then I may have to trim some extra. That's okay. And this little edge that's right here, I'll just put some ink on that so that I get a nice straight edge, because that was just the edge of the paper. And I'm going to go ahead and glue right around here so I get some really good adhesion with the glue where I want it and not where I don't want it. Okay. Then you just kind of line your circles up. And I love how that mountain just gets to peek right through that window. Okay, and you can see I did have some extra that I need to trim off. And those edges, I don't worry about those because we can ink them and they will look just grand. All right, now what's going on? Okay. And this one, I could trim this or I could wait until after I put this side on and decide if I want it to be just that little bit of a hair bigger. And that might be okay as well. So let's go ahead and put some ink on this little window piece. I kind of want it to have some definition there. I switched back to my frayed burlap. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not. While I'm doing these last few things, up after me is Make All Things With Me. It's Leah. You'll definitely want to see what she's got going on for Christmas. She makes some really amazing DIY home decor kind of stuff, and she also paper crafts. So I don't know if she will be paper crafting or making some other fun Christmas colored thing. I kind of snuck in the colors of Christmas here. They are coming. They are coming. And then up after Leah, of course, is Christy. And we would greatly, greatly appreciate it if you guys would tap your screens, like the videos, and subscribe and do all the things. Share it with your friends if you've liked what you've seen here today. Okay, so there's that. Look at that fun little window. I love that. Now we can decide to keep it that way. We might put a piece of acetate, and you'll say, well, Shauna, I don't have any acetate. Well, you know, you could just use a little piece of your sticker packaging and just put it like this, right inside the pocket there, and glue it down. And then you will have a fun little window, which I think I want to do. I like the idea of the lace, but I don't really want to miss out on seeing that mountain. I glued it so strategically. So let's see here. I'll just open this, put this little piece of scrap acetate right inside of there. And if you are someone who likes to sew, before you glue these pieces in, you can sew around. You might also like to faux sew, like maybe you want to put in your own stitching lines with a pen or stamps. You can definitely do that. These pieces look great with stitching lines all around them. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue this in. And then it'll be just about time to head over and see what Leah has in store for us on her segment of this Colors of Christmas Live. And I love that we're doing the Colors of Christmas. We just went and saw a bunch of Christmas lights. My daughter and I did last week. It still is amazing me how quickly the season just flies by. So I hope you guys take a moment to enjoy it. Spend it with the people who mean the most to you. There we go. See, now I love that little window, and that was just a little piece of scrap that was going to get thrown into the bin. So we can trim off the edges here, and we can add a little piece of lace trim somewhere else on this card, maybe the bottom or the side, so we still get our lace in there as well. But there we go, guys. That's how this fun folio is going to turn out. Of course, once I cover everything, then I'll do a flip through here on my channel, so stay tuned for that. And of course, if you are interested in this Highland Winter paper collection, it's by Rach and Bella Crafts, and I'll put that information in the description box. But for now, go check out Leah with Make All Things With Me, and I will see you guys here on the Artistry Collective next Wednesday. Thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate all of my viewers and love that you're here for this Colors of Christmas live event.